Drugs. See y'all go in the park. System overload.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching full-time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting, bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
What is up, full-time family? This is a very late, random stream out of nowhere, but we had to get it in. I got off work, and right before work, we found out Sijara Eubanks versus Valentina Shevchenko was the main event. We thought it was a joke still at that point. But right before I went to work today, we found out that Valentina Shevchenko versus Sijara Eubanks was going to be headlining UFC 230. I went to work hoping that by the time I got off, this would be announced as some sick joke, some sort of April Fool's joke before April. I didn't know what was going on because we had high hopes for this Madison Square Garden UFC 230 main event. And before we get started, I gotta say first salute to Cool the Fool, my motherfucking dog. And also, everything I'm about to say tonight, a little bit tipsy because after I was about 7.5 hours in, but you know, balls deep into my work shift today, and I was still coming to the reality, you know, I was finished with work, so I had time to look at the Twitter and see that this shit still was not announced as being some sick joke. I said, we gotta talk about it. So I went balls deep in the bottle of this bottle of proper 12, so little tipsy tonight, full-time family. But with that being said, we're gonna have a bottle of proper 12 for the UFC 229 fight companion. Still gonna be lit. Tomorrow we're still gonna have the fucking super lit McGregor versus Khabib debate. But you know what? We've heard enough, we've talked enough, and we're gonna be talking plenty more of McGregor and Khabib. This is the week of UFC 229 McGregor versus Khabib. But this video is going to be dedicated to UFC 230 and the main event debacle that has taken place so far. And I feel like I came up with a good analogy for what happened. But first, I really should have started the show off with this, but let's run it now. Where's it at? We need the we need the sad trombone, full-time family. You know why we need that sound? Because that's what this feels like. This feels like, you know Wheel of Fortune, right? The game show where you fucking spin the wheel and you can get a certain amount of dollars to guess for a letter, right? But there's that there's that little fucking bankrupt sliver, right? No matter how much money you have, you can be winning the fucking round. You can be super excited about how it's going. You can have the fucking puzzle solved. But you spin that fucking wheel, bankrupt. And you got the fucking board almost solved, and you're just like, no. I feel like that's what happened with this UFC 230 main event. I feel like we fucking hit bankrupt because we're gonna break this down a little bit. We're not gonna go too deep into this because there's no way to make sense out of this. There's no way you can logically make sense out of this main event. So I've tried, trust me. You can't. You can't. We can talk about how at UFC 228, Shevchenko versus Montano, the first female champion ever, taking on Valentina, wasn't enough to headline UFC 228. Just 1 month ago, the UFC didn't want Shevchenko headlining against Nico. Now in this, and so they had a mad scramble to get Woodley versus Till because they didn't want that headliner. So now we have a mad scramble and we get this 125-pound headliner. And oh, by the fucking way, Sijara Eubanks, a lot of people are saying who the fuck is Sijara Eubanks, including Joanna Jedrzejczyk, including Joe Rogan. A lot of people don't know who Sijara Eubanks is. We do because we're hardcore fans. A lot of people don't. A lot of fucking people don't know who Sijara Eubanks is, and I don't blame you. Because the only way you know who Sijara Eubanks is really is if you watch The Ultimate Fighter, like season 26, where she won against Nico Montano. She was supposed to fight Nico for the inaugural title, but she was hospitalized due to her weight cut and wasn't able to fight Nico Montano, so Roxanne Modafferi stepped in, and that's who Nico won the belt from. But she was supposed to fight Sijara. So who really knows that unless you're a hardcore fan? So a lot of people are saying, who the fuck is Sijara Eubanks? But, story I just told you. In that story I just told you, Sijara Eubanks was hospitalized due to a bad weight cut. Right before that story, I told you the UFC didn't want Shevchenko versus Montano to headline UFC 228. And oh, that's in Dallas. UFC 230 is in fucking Madison Square Garden. Shevchenko versus Montano wasn't enough to headline Dallas. But Shevchenko versus Eubanks is good enough to headline MSG. So, that's why I said we're not going to make sense out of this, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. So, what we will do is we'll break down the fight, we'll look at the fight, we'll look at the reactions and shit like that, and we'll still talk about the fight. But like I said, we fucking hit bankrupt right here. But with that being said, we can look at it from the bright side. UFC is being really progressive with this, right? You can't say the UFC is racist anymore. Who really said that except Tyron Woodley? But I'm saying, Tyron Woodley, I hope you're listening. I know you're probably not. I don't ever want to hear anybody say the UFC is racist when they're giving Sijara Eubanks, a black female, a motherfucking headline of Madison Square Garden. That's very progressive. Let's look at this from the bright side just for a second. Gotta look at it from the bright side. But okay, so this doesn't make sense. Bright side away. Here we are. Shevchenko versus Eubanks, UFC 230 main event. What else does this mean? This also means Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna Jedrzejczyk, which was already fucking announced and we were all already hyped for and we fucking love that fight, is gone. Why? Why? You might ask. Why is Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Valentina not just being moved here? Right? I'll tell you one thing that it's not. It's not a USADA violation, I don't think. Some people were like, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Joanna's not fighting. Joanna's not fighting. Is it a USADA violation? Is Jon Jones snitching on Joanna? He's not. He's not. But with USADA's new policy, they don't announce the violations anymore. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if Joanna Jedrzejczyk failed a USADA drug test, we wouldn't know. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case. I'm just saying we wouldn't know. But Dana White did recently do an interview after this was announced, and he said, I think he said this was the fight to make. But he said Joanna, when she's ready to fight, she'll get whatever fight, you know, she wants. They got a good relationship with Joanna. He didn't allude to anything that hinted at Joanna failing a drug test. So I don't think Joanna failed a USADA drug test. We wouldn't know, but I'll say this. Listening to Coach Shelton Harrison's take on this, CSH Combat Sports, #1 WMMA channel on YouTube. If you listen to his take on this, he's got connects with Valentina's team. And he spoke directly with Valentina Shevchenko's team, and they said Joanna Jedrzejczyk turned this fight down. Is she ducking? I mean, I don't understand it. It's another thing that doesn't quite make sense here. Why was Joanna Jedrzejczyk willing to fight Valentina in the 6th? Running through the 6th with my woes. Why was she willing to do that? Speaking of, Max Holloway, Brian Ortega officially announced for fucking that main event. Why was Joanna willing to fight in Toronto, but she wouldn't be willing to fight in Madison Square Garden, an even fucking bigger venue, a bigger event? UFC 230, Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier. What the fuck is fucking Sijara Eubanks main eventing over Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier for? Is this a fucking technicality? Non-title fights can't main event over a title fight. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. What the fuck? Nate Diaz. Dude, do you know how many people are going to turn the goddamn TV off after Diaz versus Poirier? Not because they don't like Shevchenko. Maybe because they don't know who Sijara Eubanks is. But because that's the fucking people's main event and it's not even close. People are buying UFC 230 for Diaz versus Poirier. It's not for fucking Eubanks for Shevchenko. No, and it's not because Shevchenko loves Valentina Shevchenko. To me, she's probably the #1 pound-for-pound female fighter on the planet. I'm saying pound for pound. I don't think she can beat up Chris Cyborg. I'm just talking about pound for pound. You know how DJ's #1 pound for pound? That's Valentina to me. I think she's #1 pound for pound. So, also, if you want an early prediction, motherfucking TKO. Sorry, Sarge. TKO. Well, no, not a knockout. She's not gonna fucking Rose nominate. You know, she's not gonna Jessica Andrade her. She's not gonna dead. TKO. Let's keep going because let's keep going, guys. Let's fucking keep going. Woosa. Woosa. I'm doing my best to not like explode and throw shit and woosa. Full-time family. I'm gonna pull up the chat in a second, but we gotta keep going. I mean, just to touch another reason this doesn't make much sense. How can the UFC really trust Eubanks to make the weight here? You might not know the history, but she's had a and she did, I'm sure, let him know where her weight is. Now that's probably, I'm sure, what happened. I seen, and we'll look at her Twitter, but Sarge did on Twitter say that she FaceTimed McMaynard, who's the matchmaker, I believe. She FaceTimed McMaynard and, you know, showed her weight. You know, I'm sure the UFC wants assurances like, can you make the weight? Don't have us fucking around. This is the main event of Madison Square. Don't have us fucking around. Can you make the weight, Sarge? I'm serious. Can you fucking make the weight on time? Because guys, you're not hardcore fans. Some of you might not know this. Sijara Eubanks, I said it earlier a little bit. She was hospitalized, you know, in her fight with Nico Montano due to the weight cut. So this is the problem, right? Okay, so we already talked about that, but this is the thing. This is what? Fucking a month's notice? So, we're dealing with a chick who has like 5 pro fights, but that's another story for another day. We're not even talking about that right now. She got like 5 pro fights, 6 pro fights, if you're being optimistic. Sijara Eubanks. She's way better than her record. I'm going to tell you that right now about Sijara Eubanks. If you don't know who she is, like Joanna or Joe Rogan, I'll tell you right now. Sijara Eubanks her record's deceiving. Her record is deceiving. She's a tough fighter. But we're talking about #1 fucking P for P. TKO for sure. Still TKO. I'm just saying, Sijara Eubanks is a fucking tough fighter. Alright, so, but here's the thing. Issue with the weight cuts. Now, not only does she have to make the weight, what she can do, Sijara Eubanks, since missing that weight, has made the weight. She has won a fight in the division. You know what I'm saying? She missed out on her title shot against Nico Montano for missing weight, but since then she made the weight one time. So she has made 125 pounds, and by the way, the reason she got the title shot is because Sijara Eubanks won 3 fights on The Ultimate Fighter to make it to the finals. So technically Sijara Eubanks is 4-0 in this division. I don't give a fuck if you're 10-0, to be honest. You probably ain't beating Valentina. I'm telling you, #1 P for P. That's facts. But with that being said, so Sijara Eubanks, like I said, I've given her respect. She's a great fighter. Her record's deceiving. Even if you don't know who she is, I'm telling you, she's a threat. She's a problem. She's ranked in this division like #2 or #1 for a reason. It's because she won the show and beat a lot of these girls that are in this division. She's talented. Not taking anything away from Sarge, but looking at the weight cut, she's got to, how the fuck are you gonna, and she was already in a camp. She was already in a camp to fight Jessica I forget the exact card, but Sijara Eubanks and Jessica I were booked to fight. So she was in a camp to fight Jessica I. She was in a camp. That's probably why she can make the weight. But I'm just saying, she's got to make the weight on short notice, and she's got to completely change her opponent. But it is what it is. I think the fact that Sijara Eubanks was in a camp is why she'll be able to make the weight. But either way, this is a tough task, and so, whew, all right, full-time family. I'm gonna pull up the chat now, and we're gonna start getting into these responses. I think I've laid out, I've vented just a little bit enough on this whole situation, at least to start the show. So, and this isn't gonna be a super long show. Maybe an hour. We still gotta wake up early tomorrow. I just got off work tonight. Got ready for the stream. Gotta fucking get up early tomorrow because we're doing the ultimate Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov motherfucking debate. It's going down on Full-Time MMA tomorrow. Holy shit, hide your kids, hide your wives. Motherfucking rated M for mature. We're gonna have people hurting each other's feelings, man, and it's not intended. if it happens, it fucking happens. I'm gonna be instigating. I'm gonna be moderating / instigating. Like, someone's gonna be over here on Connor's side, someone's gonna be over here on Khabib's side. I'm gonna be like, so how did you feel whenever? I'm gonna be in the middle. I'm gonna be in the middle. It's gonna be so fucking fun. It's gonna be a fucking Google Hangout. I'm gonna set my alarm, wake up early. So that's why this show's not gonna be super long tonight. But we had to fucking talk about this. Sorry. It came out a little bit. Whew, sorry. Let's pull up the chat, full-time family, before we fucking continue the show, you guys. But one time, just for, like I said, if you're in here now and you weren't in here earlier, what this really feels like to me is it feels like we're playing Wheel of Fortune, right? And it's not even possible. You know how a lot of you know what Wheel of Fortune is. On Wheel of Fortune, you spin the fucking wheel. If you win the show, you get to the final puzzle. There's not a bankrupt slot on the final puzzle. But it feels like we just hit bankrupt on the final puzzle, right? It's like we won the show. We're here. We're right next to fucking, who is it? Alex Trebek? Is that who does Wheel of Fortune? Babe? Oh, she's in the bathroom. Who does Wheel of Fortune? Alex Trebek might do Jeopardy. I think he does Jeopardy. I know who does Wheel of Fortune, dog. I fucking grew up with people that die-hard Wheel of Fortune fans. One of them, my mom. So, fuck it. It's like we made it to the final puzzle, and we hit bankrupt. And even though that's not possible, this was Madison Square Garden. Just real quick, before I get into the chat, let's talk about the fucking carrot that was dangled. For one, let's talk about this is Madison Square Garden. UFC just fucking got this privilege 2 years ago to go to New York, the Big Apple, Madison Square Garden. The motherfucking first card. Conor McGregor became the champ against A. Alvarez. The second card. Michael Bisping versus George St. Pierre. Michael Bisping, the GOAT, by the way. Salute to forward. Michael Bisping versus George St. Pierre. George St. Pierre, 2-division champion, defeated Michael Bisping. All 3 champions lost their belt that night. Legendary. UFC's 3rd trip to Madison Square Garden. There's talks of Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier 3. There's talks of Jon Jones versus Gustafsson for the light heavyweight title. There's talks of Alexander Gustafsson versus Yoel Romero for the light heavyweight title. There's premature talks of Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. There's talks of Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier for the 165-pound title, bringing in a whole new division. There's talks of Chael Sonnen bringing in the Nick Diaz versus Colby Covington. Joe Rogan bringing in Jon Jones versus Cain Velasquez. Spinning the wheel right now. We're spinning the wheel right now. Tick, 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 tick. All of these are amazing. All of these are amazing. All of these are amazing. Tick, 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 tick. UFC announces Valentina Shevchenko versus Sijara Eubanks. Bankrupt! Motherfucking, where's the sound? Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm apologizing on behalf of UFC. Let's pull up the chat. Valentine T says Jon Jones be snitching. Did Jon Jones tell on my motherfucking dog O'Malley and fucking Joanna? That's the real question. I'm just kidding, guys. For one, free O'Malley. He's the fucking most innocent fighter I've ever seen in UFC history. More innocent than Sage Northcutt when it comes to fucking this shit. I know Sage Northcutt and Wonderboy are innocent. Motherfucking free O'Malley. Fuck you talking about? You're lucky this bottle wasn't full of fucking Proper 12, because if I had a full bottle of Proper 12 and I was drinking more of this shit tonight, I'd probably be going off about my dog O'Malley. Yo, the UFC 229 fight companion is gonna be fucking lit. Oh Oh shit, I can only imagine if I'm like halfway drunk and it's time for the what was supposed to be O'Malley first fucking Quinones fight. Yo! Yo! That shit really hasn't set in. You know, like when you're like one of your parents dies. Don't mean to take it there. And you do your best to compartmentalize it. And you're like, that shit didn't happen. And that's how you really kind of deal with things. It didn't happen. You don't think about it. It doesn't set in. Maybe not your parent. Maybe your fucking dog. Right? But a loved one. A loved one dies. One of the best ways to deal with it is and it might not be the best way to deal with it, but a lot of the times you just imagine it didn't happen. It's kind of how it feels like with Sean O'Malley's fight being canceled. It's like, he's still the fucking GOAT. He's still innocent. And then it sets in and you're like, the fight's not happening. You motherfuckers are accusing him of doping, fucking with his livelihood. Yo, Jeff Nowitzki, USADA. We got some splaining to do. That's all I'm saying. Let's pull up the chat, man. Forward says, guys, we have one hope. Valentina yet to sign the contract. I've heard that, but I don't know why they would be announcing it everywhere. You know, and Coach talked to Valentina's team / manager. They said that Joanna turned it down, but they didn't tell Coach we're not signing this fight. They didn't tell Coach, you know, But I will say this. Just to give hope to what Forward's saying about her not signing the contract. One thing Valentina Shevchenko's manager did make clear whenever I spoke to him on Coach's show was that they didn't want to fight somebody that they couldn't guarantee would make the weight. They said, we're not going through this again, where we go through a whole fight and the person doesn't make weight the night before, and so now we're left without a fight. They said, we're not going to do this again. And now here we fucking are. Valentina's team put in a situation where they got to fight a chick that there's literally no guarantee she makes weight. Sarge has been hospitalized trying to make this weight in the past. And now she's got to make it on like 20 some odd days notice. Okay. Crazy shit, dog. Dre the Great says 230 is stacked except for the main event. Yeah, 230 is still stacked. We still got Adesanya versus Brunson. We still got Rockhold Weidman 2. We still got another middleweight fight. Branch Jacare, Diaz Poirier. Hopefully we still have Diaz Poirier. Excuse me. Hopefully we still have Diaz Poirier because Dustin Poirier's been posting some cryptic ass tweets like, Nate Diaz, you had one chance and you blew it. Nate Diaz, I thought you were better than this. Let's pull it up, man. Oh my God, you guys. Like, okay, I'll tell you where we're at right now. Right now, we're playing Wheel of Fortune and we just hit bankrupt. But we still won the show. We still won because it's still a good card. We still got Diaz Poirier. I honestly think if Diaz Poirier was the main event and Shevchenko versus Eubanks was the co-main event, a lot of us wouldn't be complaining, right? Honestly, I mean, if you think about that, we're all kind of being, including me. I don't want to say a bitch. We're all kind of over-exaggerating this just because we were looking for a huge main event, right? But if you really put Poirier versus Diaz, which is main event worthy, for sure, if you put Poirier Diaz in the main event, and you put Shevchenko Eubanks in the co-main event, I don't think you have half the complaints. So the card is still stacked. But here's a huge problem. Diaz and Poirier were campaigning for the UFC's inaugural 165 title, to the point where it almost looked like they were in it together. Like, hey, we're fighting. They both announced they're fighting for the new title in the main event. That's another thing, like at the beginning of the show, that you can add to the We Can't Explain list, right? You got Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier, opponents. Why the fuck would they be, like, talking to each other, right? and try and take your fucking head off. We're not talking to each other. You got Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier, who both announced on Twitter 10 minutes after each other, we're fighting in the main event, 165 pounds. Right? They both announced that, right? Main event. So, it's not like they talked to each other and they were like, hey, bro, let's try and make the UFC open a division. It sounded like they got that from the UFC. But now they're not fighting for the title, right? But Nate Diaz, since they both announced it, he's been saying, yo, Poirier doesn't want to fight for the title. Fuck it, I'm gone. See y'all next year. Second time Nate Diaz almost sounded like he was ready to pull out. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to be the one to bring this here now, but I just thought about it. And I hope my boy Stamina's in here. You know what? That's because I'm a little tipsy. But, motherfucker, we got something to talk about. One of these days, before the show, you know what? We're going to talk about it for a second. Just a quick second. Somebody was talking about fucking something, and you said, yeah, full-time might not be that smart, but he's smarter than... I'm like, motherfucker, what was that supposed to mean, Stamina? We'll talk about that another time. But, either way, what the fuck I was saying was I don't know, because I just lost my fucking train of thought. I want to be honest, because I was thinking about that shit. But either way, the fucking way that we got here, what up, full-time fam, says Mr. Perfect 2005. Being short, Poirier Diaz, I know I was talking about Poirier and Diaz, isn't 5 rounds. This impending 2-round versus V-Shev demolition. Yeah, Poirier and Diaz, that's what I was talking about. But if this was the main event, we wouldn't really give a fuck right now. You know what I'm saying? Now, but this is where I was going. It's not the main event. And so, do you think Nate Diaz, who's already fucking hinted and suggested he would pull out of this fight twice, he was ready to fucking leave this fight as soon as, he ain't fought in 2 years, he was ready to leave this fight as soon as they fucking announced McGregor versus Khabib at the press conference. He walked off. Fight was in jeopardy. And then he said, oh, we're not fighting for 165, I'm out. Fight's in jeopardy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to be the first one to ask this question. Do you guys think Nate Diaz is going to fucking co-main event to Sijara Eubanks? Do you think his pride would let him do that? Do you think he would? He already wanted to fight. Are you fucking serious? And I hate to do this, but could you imagine what happens if Diaz pulls out of this fight? I'm sorry, guys. I hate to pose that to you. Could you imagine what happens? And it is so very possible. Can you imagine what happens when Nate Diaz pulls out of this fight? He already threatened it twice. Now he's not getting his 165-pound title. Now he's co-main event to who the fuck is that girl? Sijara Eubanks. He could very well pull out of this fight. And then you know what we're left with? Yeah, we got some cool middleweight fights, right? Middleweight square guard. Yeah, we got Weidman Rockhold too, right? Yeah, we got Adesanya, right? Yeah. Nate Diaz could pull out of this fight. Hold on, you guys aren't giving me the 165 title, and on top of that, you're going to put Sijara Eubanks in the main event over me? You think I'm me, Nate motherfucking Diaz? You think Nate motherfucking Diaz is about to co-main event to Sijara motherfucking Eubanks? Y'all already been playing me? You played me at the press conference. Someone clearly made him believe he was fighting for the 165-pound title because he announced it to all of his fans. I'm happy to announce I'm bringing in the 165-pound super fighter division. Division. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You think he's now about to accept this fight? My nigga was ready to pull out when they announced McGregor versus Khabib at the press conference. He was gone when he thought Poirier wouldn't fight him, even though we know Poirier would fight him. You think he's going to stay on now that he's not getting his title and he's co-main event to Sijara Eubanks? I'm sorry, Nate Diaz could very well pull out of this motherfucking fight card. And when that happens, that's when we get to the fucking final puzzle. That's what it's called, Wheel of Fortune. That's when we get to the final puzzle. Right now, we're at the final puzzle. Right now, we are at the final puzzle. We hit bankrupt with Eubanks versus Shevchenko, but we still won the show. Still a good card. It's still Madison Square Garden. We still got Diaz versus Poirier. Right now, we're at the final motherfucking puzzle. And Alex Trebek, who the fuck does Wheel of Fortune? I know they got Vanna White. What's the dude's name? Right now, he just told us, oh, by the way, you're on the final puzzle. Congratulations. You can win a whole lot of money. But this is Super Wheel of Fortune. We added a fucking bankrupt square to the final puzzle. And if Diaz pulls out of this fight, we just hit fucking bankrupt on the final puzzle. And we're going to be left with Madison Square Garden. Shevchenko versus Eubanks. Serious. I'm dead fucking serious. Sorry, guys. We had to do this live show tonight. We had to. We had to. We're going to be talking McGregor versus Khabib for the rest of this week, all of tomorrow. There's no way we can't do a whole show. We haven't even got to the topics without venting about this fucking... Sorry, guys. Now let's pull up the chat. I ain't even had time to chop it up with my fucking family. Salute to Cool the Fool, my motherfucking dog, first of all. Valentina T says Jon Jones be snitching. Valentina T says if it ain't a steroid, you're using it all the time. What up, full time? We got Forward in here. He says, guys, we got one hope. Valentina's yet to sign the contract. Dre the Gate Great says UFC 230 stacked. Except for the main event. True, true, true. Hey, Someday says, Dana looks pretty serious in his ESPN interview. Michigan Made said he said it will happen unless he gets the fight with GSP. Did you hear Khabib's retiring after the Conor fight? Yeah, man, Khabib strikes me as someone that can retire early. He's talked about it. His team's talked about it. They've talked about retiring early. They've talked about it before. I mean, win or lose. Win or lose. If Khabib I mean, he's talking about retiring if he wins. Well, what the fuck does that mean if you lose? What do you do? Go back to grinding and fighting Kevin Lee, Eddie Alvarez? Like, what do you do? I think Khabib, he could retire, win or lose. Forward says, no two ways about it. They're being shortchanged if Poirier Diaz isn't 5 rounds. It's impending 2-round versus Shevchenko demolition is, yeah. The fact that this isn't a main event, you know what I'm saying? I think as many MMA fans that are pissed off right now, and of course we're going to be over it so soon because McGregor versus Khabib is like 3 days away. We're going to be over it so soon. But then afterward, we're probably going to be pissed again when we get reminded, right? But yeah, if this was UFC 230, Diaz versus Poirier, I don't think half as many people are complaining, being honest. Hey, Someday says, honestly, just let the damn event blow up in their face and maybe they'll learn. It would be such a shame. Oh, and by the way, what a good way to just start the finish of the show where we get into the news topics. Look at Scott Coker's response because I fucking love it. Bellator. I'm repping Bellator. Hey, you know what, guys? Fuck it. This is going to be a full-blown show. I'm going to go to sleep afterward, and we're going to set our alarm. You know what I mean? After the whole show, not right now. But, I mean, after we're going to do probably about an hour show. We've been live for about 40 minutes. After this, we're going to go into all the responses. We're going to do the show, but you know what? I feel like it's a good time to play fucking Scott Coker versus Dana White. Because, not just because Scott Coker's response, but because also, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to UFC Yankovic. No, I'm saying though, on a real note, the reason is because Bellator is coming up, man. They're not up there with the UFC yet, but the way things are going, the UFC is going down, Bellator is going up. They're at least bound to meet in the motherfucking middle. I'm about ready to hop on Bellator's fucking train, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many things to root for in Bellator. You know, but hey, it is what it is. For that, this is the interlude of the show, right? This is like an MMA radio show, and hopefully a lot of people are listening to this at fucking work or while they're training. Maybe tomorrow. It's like 3 in the morning where I'm at right now. So You know, wherever you're listening to this, maybe you're listening to it live, and if you are, if you finish biting your bagel, don't be a baby back bagel biting bitch boy. Hit the thumbs up button, and also subscribe if you're new. And also, if you want to support the show, check the links in the description. We ain't never hurt nobody. So, with that being said, this is kind of like a radio show. Let's play a little fucking song, and we'll get right back to the MMA topics in the news. Bellator. I'm repping Bellator. Ayy. Bellator. I'm repping Bellator. 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 I'm repping Bellator. 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 I'm repping Bellator. 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 I'm repping Bellator. Look, Dana White, you found a fight. You said some shit that I ain't like about Bellator. So now it's time to back it up. Now grab the mic. You slap the fighters with the Reebok deal and treat them like some fools. I ask the fighters how the people feel so people think I'm cool. Yeah, Scott Coker, baby, you ain't fucking with us. I'm like a stockbroker, baby, and I'm running it up. Go get your pot holders, baby. I'm like the oven to touch. And you can get Conor or Tony, Dana, my Chandler, fucking him up. Whoa, whoa there, Scott. Whoa, what the fuck? Maybe when you smoke your pot, you shouldn't smoke so much. Because I know that you're high. Michael Chandler would die against Conor or Tony. Homie, so don't even try. Now, should I keep it with you or should I get on your roster? Even Jimmy Smith is just a roster imposter. You got James Gallagher, he just wanna be Conor. You got Rory McDonald only cause we didn't want him. You see, Scott Coker, me and you, we are not kosher. You're not a stockbroker, boy, you're a stockholder. What the fuck were you thinking, sending that shitty diss my way? You need to think before you diss. While you're at it, take these flyweights. Take these flyweights. While you're at it, take these flyweights. Motherfucking let's go full-time family. I was about to low-key get to a freestyle, but today, this ain't the night, and I didn't have enough proper 12, but UFC 229, who knows what the fuck's going down. Scott Coker responded to this whole UFC 230 main event madness with the motherfucking, it ain't none of my business. I'm over here in the Bellator kicking ass and taking names. We just had our most stacked card of the year, and oh, by the way, next week it's even more stacked. And okay, not more stacked, but it's still stacked. Okay? Scott Coker's a motherfucking beast. Let's get into the news topics, full-time family. I'm going to pull up the chat one more time, though. I'll get into it at the end of the show, but we're going to get into these topics and we're going to get the fuck out of here because we got the ultimate McGregor versus Khabib debate tomorrow at like 12 a.m. Eastern. 12 p.m. Eastern? 12 a.m. Eastern? It's like noon. Noon Eastern. We're going to be having the ultimate McGregor versus Khabib debate. I might even fuck around and be late for work. Tune in. And oh, by the way, I'm going to call in to work on Thursday, and we're doing a live McGregor versus Khabib press conference companion. It's going to be fucking lit. I got other reasons, too. I got shit to do that day. Let's get to it, full-time family. Valentina T says, DC needs to climb up USADA's chimney and put steroids on Jon Jones' blood samples. Forward says, missed me with this Bellator surpassing UFC talk. I assure you that'll never happen. It'll be hard, but fuck with your time, man. It's getting close. Take these female flyweights for fuck's sake, says Forward. Yo, touche. Good day, y'all. Up late since third eye first. Yo, I got off work. There's no way I couldn't talk about this fucking flying, flipping, flapjack madness. What we talking about? So yeah, man. We got the news. Shevchenko Eubanks, fucking 230 main event. Let's move on. Joanna Jedrzejczyk's reacting. Let's talk about this for a quick second. I mean, we'll be out of here before you know it, sooner rather than later. I appreciate everybody listening. We got quite a few things to talk about, but really that beginning rant, I just needed to vent, get off my fucking chest. You know what I'm saying? I just needed to do that, and now I feel a lot better. So I swear to God, I might go back and have to listen to that myself tomorrow, just because it's off my chest. It feels good. So you know. Joanna's reacting, right? Joanna Jedrzejczyk was supposed to fight Valentina Shevchenko at 231 in Toronto, Canada, running through the 6 with my woes, right? And oh, by the way, I think we can confirm Drizzy motherfucking Drake Rogers, the 6th God, was talking about Max Holloway in that song when he said, blessed something, something, something. But he referred to fucking Max Holloway, man. And we didn't know 100% sure if he was talking about Max Holloway because he said blessed. But now, Max Holloway is back, guys. I'm not a conspiracy guy. But I'm just saying, Max Holloway is back. And where is he back? in the 6. You guys, oh my god, I don't want to do this because I'm not a conspiracy guy, but motherfucking Drizzy Drake, man, he's on some whole other shit. He's like, it's like Mystic Drizzy Drake, bro. You know how we got Mystic Mac? We got Mystic Drizzy Drake. Sorry guys, we gotta go on a little mid-tangent just for a quick second. Mid-tangent, quick second. Okay, not very long because I already see the numbers dropping. Y'all don't give a fuck about this. But Drake had a song talking about Triple X. It sounded like he was talking about sending pictures of his dick, but Triple X, shoot, shoot, shoot. Triple X dies. Now he's talking about Max Holloway. He's the 6th guy. Toronto. Max Holloway's back. He's headlining motherfucking Toronto. I'm just saying, either way, all of that shit aside, motherfucking, I feel like now we can confirm Drizzy Drake Rogers was talking about Max Holloway. Because now Max Holloway's back and he's the motherfucking 6th guy. Now, the only, you know what connected this for me, to be honest? Max Holloway's Twitter. He posted the update. Max Holloway posted, I'm going to be fighting Brian Ortega in Toronto. You know, he reposted the picture. And he was like running through the 6 with my woes or something. Like running through the 6. And I was like, oh, Drizzy Drake. He just shouted out Max Holloway. Now Max Holloway's headlining in Toronto. Ding, ding, ding. You see where the connection came? So, yeah. Another topic for another day. My bad, full-time family. Let's get back into Joanna Jedrzejczyk reacting to Valentina Shevchenko versus Sijara Eubanks. Now, you might wonder, what does she have to say? Especially, which a lot of you might not have heard. Some of you might have. According to Valentina Shevchenko's team, Joanna Jedrzejczyk turned down this fight with Valentina. Well, now, a lot of people are asking, Joanna, what happened? Why are you not fighting Valentina at MSG? Earlier in the show, I said some people are speculating it's USADA. And I think that's a little unfair, but at the same time, USADA just changed their policy to where they're not announcing when a fighter gets flagged. So anytime a fighter just randomly falls off of a card, it could be a USADA violation, but USADA's not going to announce it anymore to give fighters time to prove they're innocent. So if Joanna failed a USADA drug test, which I don't think happened, if that happened, we would not know. Some people speculated that. But Joanna responded to a lot of her fans on Instagram. Some of the comments were in Polish, some in English. So, some of them said, like, yeah, the UFC didn't even, like, offer it, I think, she responded to a fan. But the one that stood out and that made the headlines is when she said, who, all right, I got it right here, Joanna's Twitter. She said, who the fuck? So, because somebody asked her, you know, Sijara Eubanks versus Valentina. Here it says, Sijara Eubanks with the emojis. And she responded to that person and she said, who the fuck? So, Joanna Jedrzejczyk, like many others, she's not the first one. It's not like she's singling Sarge out. It's not like she's the only one acting like she don't know who Sarge is. Because Joe Rogan on his podcast, earlier today before work, Joe Rogan was also doing a live podcast. And on his live podcast, he was fucking breaking it down. And he heard the news as well. And he was like, I'm the fucking UFC commentating GOAT. I don't even know who Sijara Eubanks is. Now, of course, he didn't say I'm the UFC commentating GOAT. But pretty much he was like, yo, I work for the UFC and I don't even know who this is. So, Joe Rogan, literally, one of the greatest UFC commentators of all time, if not the mixed martial arts fucking expert, extraordinaire, doesn't even know who Sijara Eubanks is. And not to use this time to shamelessly plug me, but that's why you motherfuckers fuck with full-time MMA, because, you know, a lot of people were up with the old shit, but they ain't up on the new shit. They don't keep up with everybody. You gotta be you know, because Joe Rogan's a hardcore fan, clearly. He knows more MMA than I'll ever fucking know in my lifetime. But I can tell you about Sijara Eubanks. That's all I'm saying. I know who Sijara Eubanks is. That's all I'm saying. But Joe Rogan is still the fucking GOAT, and you know, he knows more fucking MMA in his pinky than I'll personally know. But I'm just saying, that's where the new blood comes in. Fuck with your boy Full-Time MMA. Like and subscribe. Sorry, my bad. But Joe Rogan doesn't know who the fuck Sijara Eubanks is. I don't blame him. Neither does fucking Joanna Jedrzejczyk. Right? A lot of people don't know who Sijara Eubanks is. But Joanna's letting people know who the fuck. Now she's got the emojis with the laughing sign and shit like that, so maybe she's clowning a little bit. But Joanna's saying, who the fuck is Sijara Eubanks? Well, Joanna, where the fuck are you at? Sorry, excuse my language. Where the fuck is Joanna Jedrzejczyk? Why aren't you here fighting? It's not a weight issue. Joanna was coming up from 115. 125 would be easy for her to make. It's not a weight issue. According to Valentina's team, Joanna turned this down. So, it is what it is. There's zero reason JJ can't make 125 on 30 days notice since she's a natural 115er, says forward. That's exactly what I just, that's my thoughts too. You're a 115 pounder. It's not a weight cutting thing. I don't understand. I'm sorry, guys. In the beginning of this show, I pointed out a whole bunch of shit we'll never understand about this main event booking. Add this to it. Why was Joanna willing to fight Valentina at UFC 231 and not UFC 230? Ask yourself that question. If you say, oh, she's scared, right? She's ducking, she's scared. Why is she scared at Madison Square Garden, but she's not scared at Calgary? Now we can start to fucking put on the tinfoil hat, which I don't like to do, but Joanna has a history in New York, right? She fought Rose first time in Madison Square Garden, second time in Brooklyn, right? I'm not about to get my ass whooped another time in New York where there's a huge Polish fan base. Maybe that's her thoughts. Right? Am I onto something, or am I just fucking tinfoil? My bad. I'm just saying, she's already lost twice in front of Madison Square Garden now. A bunch of Polish fans. I don't want to get my ass kicked 3 times in the New York market. Now that would be on some whole business shit. But maybe that would explain why she's willing to fight her in fucking Toronto and not New York. This is a bigger card. This is more eyes, more opportunity. So, I don't know, man. Just a lot of baby back, bagel biting bullshit, if you ask me. But with that being said, that's Joanna's response. Who the fuck is that girl? We got 22 people watching now, maybe 30, and only 14 thumbs up. I think that's a disservice to the channel if you guys aren't biting your bagels. And, my boy, I think Cool the Fool called some people out. We had like 5 comments on the show the other day. And he was like, how am I the first thumbs up? Some of you motherfuckers be biting bagels way too motherfucking long, but that's another topic for another day. Before you get out of here, if you listen to this show, if you're part of the full-time family, and I know a lot of you guys don't fucking identify being part of the full-time family. It might be a little corny to you, right? Oh, I'm just a listener of the show. I'm not part of your fucking family, you fucking raccoon hat loser. Alright, motherfucker, even if you ain't a part of the family, if you enjoy the show, hit the thumbs up button. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Alright, with that being said, yeah, that's Joanna's response. Now, another thing is, right, Jon Jones recently was cleared right in time to fight for Madison Square Garden. Oh, so, sure, well, shit, if you can bet in Vegas on who's the main event, you're probably putting some money on Jon Jones, not gonna lie, and I don't even think you can bet on that, but I'm just saying, a lot of us thought Jon Jones was gonna be the main event for Madison Square Garden even before Jon Jones was cleared by USADA, even before we knew he was snitching, even before he had the 15-month suspension, we were like, optimistic Jon Jones would be back. And then, he's back. 15-month suspension. It is what it is. He's back. So you're just sure he's going to be in the main event. He's not. Why not? Got some theories there too. Maybe you don't want no motherfucking smoke with Alexander Gustafsson. That's one. We saw how Jon Jones looked when he came back against Ovint St. Preux, and he didn't look amazing. First fight, post USADA, ring rust, what the fuck ever reason, he didn't look great against Ovint St. Preux. He can't look like that against Alexander Gustafsson. And if that's your only option, maybe Jon Jones is like, whoa, I wanted to fight DC. Whoa, I thought I could come back. The only reason I told you motherfuckers on our wrestling coach, the only reason I told on Joanna and O'Malley, whoever Jon Jones is telling on, the only reason I fucking snitched on them was so I could headline Madison Square Garden. Now Daniel Cormier turned down the fight. Daniel Cormier's got his eyes set on Brock Lesnar, and I got my eyes set on motherfucking Daniel Cormier, but Alexander Gustafsson got his eyes set on me. Oh my fucking God. Excuse me, Lord, not to use your name in vain. Holy shit, Duck, Duck, Goose. You guys, we're playing Duck, Duck, Goose. We need to archive this motherfucking episode. Too much good shit coming out on this episode. We're playing Duck, Duck, fucking Goose. Jones is ducking. Let's start in the beginning. Jones, well, we'll start in the front. Jones seems to be ducking Gustafsson because DC seems to be ducking Jones. All of this is seems. And oh, by the way, Joanna seems to be ducking Valentina. Oh, by the way, Nico was just ducking Valentina. Duck, Duck, Goose. We're playing Duck, Duck, Goose right now, y'all. Appreciate it. Third Eye First says thumbs up. I appreciate it. We're playing Duck, Duck, Goose right now with all of this baby back bagel biting bullshit. So, Jon Jones is cleared to fight in time for Madison Square Garden, but since Alexander Gustafsson's the only one that's willing to fight him there, Jon Jones is over here stalling. On pay-per-view points. I want $100 million to fight Gustafsson. Whatever reason. Beggars can't be choosers, homie. You just got cleared to fight. You're from New York, John. I mean, you're already fucking looked at as a cheating, cocaine using snitch. Now you ain't gonna headline in front of New York, your hometown, because what? You can't get the DC fight, so Jon Jones, you don't want to fight Gustafsson. That was a tough fight, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Wasn't it? That was a tough fight for Jon Jones. And that might have been Jon Jones' toughest fight to date, Alexander Gustafsson. You can't come back and look like you did against OSP like you did against Alexander Gustafsson. And so maybe Jon Jones don't want that fight. Maybe he wants to fight DC. So now we got Madison Square Garden with no Jon Jones. And now we got Eubanks versus motherfucking Shevchenko, you guys. That's where we're at. I think that's probably where we're going to end the show. Gustafsson's telling Jon Jones, quit chickening out, quit ducking. Jon Jones is on social fucking media, blasting Cormier, blasting George St. Pierre, posting with everybody's probably about to snitch on. My bad. But no, that is a joke though. I was looking at this picture like, I don't know. All these motherfuckers got smiles on their face because they don't understand USADA's about to be up their assholes. And Jon Jones took this picture. He's probably about to go right to Jeff Nowinski like it's him, him, and him. I got them all in the pic, Jeff. I'm sorry, guys. He's blasting. Oh, by the way, this didn't get covered. This is how we'll end the show, you guys. This didn't get covered. Oh my God. What a perfect way to end the show. Jon Jones posted a picture of himself, his own mugshot, TMZ. This didn't get covered. He said, Daniel Cormier, that's the face of a man who would have you hand washing his underwear. I run your house. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Jon Jones, you don't even got no room to be throwing stones. You are in a fucking glass castle right now, dog. Jon Jones is throwing stones from a glass castle, dog. People can talk about your drug addiction. They can talk about your steroids. They can talk about your snitching, and you are firing away. Everyone's gonna say, you fucking cheater, drug addict, snitch, motherfucker. And Jon Jones clearly don't give a fuck. He is firing shots from his glass castle and don't give a fuck. He said this is the... Yo! He said Daniel Cormier would be washing his underwear and he posted his own mugshot. He posted his own mugshot. This is me in jail. The Jon Jones in jail would be the guy whose underwear you would be washing. If we were both in jail, this is the guy whose underwear you would be washing. You like my county oranges? This would be your fucking daddy. Oh, John. Oh, shit, full-time family. With that being said, I think this is a great way to end the show. I gotta fucking go to sleep. I gotta set an alarm for UFC 229. McGregor versus Khabib, the ultimate fucking debate. Tune in. It's gonna be going down at probably 1 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going live. McGregor versus Khabib press conference. No. McGregor versus Khabib debate. The ultimate debate. I enjoyed this show. I had to vent about this shit. Forward says, guys, drop a like on the video. Hey, guys, I feel like we got some good shit off on this video. Personally, I might be wrong. I feel like this is one of my best videos in a long time. Because we talked about a lot of shit. Broke a lot of shit down. I vented, just spoke my shit. But that's just some right thoughts for another day. I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks, if it was or not. But I'm just saying that if you enjoyed this video, hit the share button, guys. If you let's motherfucking try and get the full-time family spread. We're all part of this. My boy Forward, infamous MMA, motherfucking Mr. Perfect 2005, Exist BMX, Cool the Fool. Everyone that listens to this channel is a part of this channel. We all ain't nothing but some MMA fans, all of us. I'm just a random motherfucker that goes to work and watches MMA just like y'all. We come together on this channel and we watch MMA. So let's motherfucking grow the family. Share the video if you enjoy it. I know, hit the thumbs up button, whatever you can do. I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to get out of here for the night. Thanks for coming through to the show. Tomorrow, McGregor versus Khabib debate, Liddy, Baguetti. Let the full-time family know what you guys think in the comments. I'm about to get out of here. Mr. Perfect says the Underground King. You're the Underground King. I'm out. Oh, wait, I hit start recording. Oh, well, in that case, you know what? This is how we'll end the show. Fuck that. Check out UFC Yankovic. UFC 230 just got a fucking main event. So let's fucking... the people's main event. The real main event. Let's end the show with motherfucking Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier. Tupac, hit him up. Ain't never been fucking around. UFC Yankovic. Hold on, we can't start the fucking show. Tupac chill. Diaz chill. Poirier chill. Salute to motherfucking the full-time family and of course UFC Yankovic, because this shit is litty motherfucking Baguetti. Y'all ain't gotta give me my props. You ain't gotta enjoy motherfucking rap. You ain't gotta enjoy hip-hop. But the motherfucking UFC Yankovic is lit. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs, but let's play the people's main event. Tupac, Diaz versus Poirier remix. Let's fucking go. And then we out. First off, fuck Nick Diaz and fuck you, Nate. East side, when we ride, come equipped to bang. You claim to be a fighter, but don't fucking fight. You puff on fat joints, sit and stuff your pipe. I'm an American top team, training hard as shit. Nathan Diaz and the scrap pack are some mark-ass bitches. I'm throwing punches up in bunches at your grill. Keep them coming, cause I'm gunning for the kill. You know the deal. Nick Diaz, where's your girl? I heard you beat her. Maybe you're fighting her cause you can't buy a win in the UFC. And Gilbert Melendez currently riding a 4-fight losing streak. Y'all got Cesar Gracie fight team in these streets looking weak. I let you niggas know that it's beef for life. Then let the east side ride tonight. Scrap pack murdered on wax deceased. Fuck with me and get your ass beat. Grab your Glocks when you see the diamond. Call your squad when you see the diamond. When I rock you, bitch, I'm coming for the finish. UFC 230, Nate Diaz gon' get it. Nigga, I hit him up. Get out the way, yo, get out the way, yo. Dustin Poirier's nuts just dropped, yo, you got the fucking nerve to talk about my brother and this girl. So at UFC 230, I'ma fuck up your whole world. Is it Poirier or Poirier? Cause I ain't never heard of ya. Chokes and slap attacks when I'm serving ya. It's Nate, it ain't Gaethje, no, you can't break me. I broke Michael Johnson and he had your face aching. And I broke McGregor, they both almost knocked your head off. The only way that you can fuck with me is if I fell off. And if I was baked, but since that ain't the case, at UFC 230, bitch, I'm stocked and slapping your face. I hit him up. Take money. Take money. Hey, full-time family, UFC 230's going down. Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier. Make sure you take the time to hit subscribe on this channel, UFC Yankovic. We're trying to get it to 1,000 subscribers, and once we do that, it's gonna be a motherfucking party. And if you're lost, if you're clueless, no, neither one of the actual fighters wrote these lyrics. This is a parody song. This is a joke. No harm intended. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments, man. We out.